So, what does gaming mean to you?
Gaming's more like a social activity for me.
Gaming to me is like a form of experiencing like a new world.
I guess to me, gaming is it's really a lot of things.
Not like my entire life, but it is part of my life. It was my childhood as I was growing up, and it made me realize who I wanted to be when I wanted to grow up, because I met people through gaming.
Gaming is an escape, basically, for me. I mean, being a DMA major, I'm constantly under stress, under pressure to do work as good as I can, and just being able to be someone else for at least an hour or two really gives it, that, I guess, that good feeling and relaxation that I need.
And I feel like it's a way of like you just understanding yourself more. That's what gaming is to me, just a way of you expressing yourself without any real limits,
Really, the games I like to play are ones with people. And I don't know, even when I was younger, that's just how I connected with people, through games like Pokemon, Smash Bros, things like that. And yeah, it's just a way for me to meet people with common interests and honestly just talk, become friends.
Same time, gaming is also a way to kind of connect with people who may not be necessarily in your vicinity. A lot of the people who I game with or who I play with, like online and things of that nature, a lot of them are back home in Pittsburgh or in Long Island, or different people from different parts of the U.S., even from the world in general, who I won't be able to see like as easy and stuff. So I can take an opportunity to put on my headset, play a game with them or something online, talk to them, see how they doing, see how their family's doing.
Are you aware of the gaming culture, and do you interact with people in that culture?
The gaming culture is just a different variety of people.
There's so many roles almost in it. Like, you can go to a tournament and have people just who aren't even playing, just to hype it up and make it more fun.
Yeah, sure. I'm mostly a part of the competitive culture. I play a lot of Pokemon competitively on Showdown and on like multiple tournament brackets.
The hype mans are the reason actually why I play gaming, because it was so fun to get hype off of games. Someone would be screaming, but in a positive way, not through negative.
I like the role of the villain almost. Like, there's that person like everyone kind of cheers against, but in a way that gets everyone hype, work talking together. And then when they do lose, like everyone's happy, but I'm happy too, because that just means I can improve more as well.
It can get a little toxic, but it's overall a pretty good environment if you know how to play the game well and you actually have like a group of friends who are willing to go with you to other places.
But I would have never known if I didn't give it a try. So I think it's really cool. I think gaming culture is going to continue to grow as different technological advances happen. When you got stuff like the PlayStation 4, like VR, and letting you be Batman in first person, stuff like that. I think it's just going to continue to grow, and I think it's going to continue to draw different people.
I mean, I'm always engaged in it, no matter what. I mean, the friends that I hang out with always talk about different video games that are coming out, like My Hero Academia, etc. Like God of War just came out. It's honestly amazing. Gaming culture is pretty relevant nowadays.
It's now like at the forefront of like what's cool and okay and popular and stuff. But if you think of gaming culture, if you don't know too much, you might think of just your typical, like your stereotypical, honestly, it's a stereotype of like your nerdy person with like glasses and very like socially awkward and don't want to say nothing to nobody. But half everybody you see is probably playing some type of game, whether it's on controller, whether they're playing it on their phone and an app, on a computer, whatever. So gaming culture, it's definitely like an all-encompassing culture, and it has something to offer really to everybody.
Do you think there's like a lot of stereotypes and stigmas around gamers and the gaming community itself?
I could definitely say that there are a lot of stereotypes, but I feel that nowadays it's really going away from that. I mean, you see people of all different types. I mean, my dad plays Call of Duty, etc. I mean, you can see 90-year-old people playing Skyrim, for instance. I mean, stereotypes are kind of just diminishing at this point.
Like gamers will never get a girl or guy. Like if the girl plays games and they stay. Well, no, that's not the case. There's a whole bunch of people that play games that aren't even like guys. Because my sister was the hype person who put me into gaming. She was my competitive aspect. She got me into game, anime, all that other stuff. And the hype man, they're cool and stuff. They're not doing anything wrong. And so the stereotype is just what they consider are nerds, but that's not. Like, a nerd is just what you like, I guess. So they technically are a nerd, but everyone's a nerd then.
Any last comments?
I think, like, because if you think about it like sports is broad because it had different levels of sports, like basketball, baseball, and all other things. But with gaming, it's the same thing with different like genres of games, and then you have to break it down to different like subsections of those genres, where people who just play the game casually, competitively, people who just like being the characters themselves, people who like a story. So it comes to a lot of things. Like, I think every single genre branches out to 3 different like forms of being in that gaming genre, you know. So I feel like it's actually pretty diverse for what it is, and a lot of people don't really give it that much credit for what it is. I think it definitely has a lot more going for it than most TV shows have when it comes to diversity and when it comes to establishing your own integrity in the gaming culture.
And I think for anybody who's never like, who say, well, video games really ain't my thing, try finding a game that you might be interested in. You'd be surprised.
It's a giant community with different people, and each part has its own group.